I am so done with Honkai Star Rail, and honestly, I didn't like this game back when I played the demo, but for some reason, I was hopeful that HoYoverse would take into account some of the feedback I provided back then. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and I just had to make this video explaining why I have not been very impressed with Honkai Star Rail before I uninstall it. So the first major criticism of Honkai Star Rail I have is its combat system. The combat in Honkai Star Rail is uninspiring, lethargic, and brain dead to engage in, and just falls flat of my expectations for a turn-based game in 2023. And before I get brain dead comments being like, oh Eango, you just don't like turn-based games, I can assure you that as someone whose favorite games include Persona SMT franchise, Fire Emblem, and Final Fantasy Tactics, that is not the case. Also, my most played anime mobile games are Girls Frontline and Revue Starlight, which are both turn-based strategies. So if anything, I should be biased towards liking Honkai Star Rail, but I just don't. The first problem is that for team building, which is a very big part of the game, you just don't have many options. Like if I go to team setup, you see you need to fill 4 character slots, but I personally only have 11 options to choose from, and the max number of characters available is still only 22. This is an absolute joke when compared to Revue Starlight Relive, where you have hundreds upon hundreds of options to fill a team of 5. And just to highlight the major discrepancy here, I did the math on calculating the strategic complexity in team building before recording this video. Let me just bring up my notepad here. Okay, so the math isn't anything fancy, it's really just the combinations formula, and when we look at the data, we see that the number of possible teams that exist in Honkai Star Rail is 7,315. Now, if you think this number sounds big, the thing is that the average theory crafter, once their spreadsheets are properly set up, can analyze a team composition in a mere 5 minutes. So finding the optimal meta in Honkai Star Rail will take players less than a month. Compare this to Revue Starlight, in which we fill a team of 5 from 516 available options, and it's just not even close. Revue Starlight has a staggering near 300 billion possible team compositions, which under the same theory crafting methodologies would take over 2 million years to analyze. And this is more or less why Revue Starlight theory crafters are held in such high regard in the anime mobile gaming sphere, as it's just the most exponentially complex anime game of time. So in terms of theory crafting potential, Honkai Star Rail leaves a lot to be desired, but you may still be like, okay, whatever, what about the actual gameplay though? And unfortunately, the gameplay itself is also severely lacking in being mentally challenging. Let me start a battle here to show you all what I'm talking about. So the obvious issue I have with the combat in this game is that there only exist 2 abilities to choose from, and this just massively limits the strategic thinking required to win at this video game. And quite frankly, if you fail to choose the correct ability for the situation you're in, then you're just an idiot. Like, you would never survive in Revue Starlight with all its hundreds of characters to learn, and if I just select one of the characters, we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 abilities. So 11 abilities as opposed to 2, and honestly I've never played any turn-based game that had less than 4 abilities to choose from. Even Pokemon, which is the game designed for middle schoolers, has over double the abilities to choose from Honkai Star Rail. Don't get me wrong, I understand HoYoverse had to make this game playable for the Genshin Impact community, but I don't think they had to go below even Pokemon level complexity for this. Now, besides being super easy, and honestly, if you lose an encounter in this game, you're just flat out an idiot. The battles also just drag out for way too long. I would say on average I waste about 30 minutes to an hour on encounters, and honestly this issue could be easily solved if they just doubled the damage on everyone, which was feedback I gave during the demo that they disregarded. Anyways, since I'm a great guy, I'll spare you all from this boring gameplay when I edit this video. Hey, welcome back everyone. So at this point, I've demonstrated how Honkai Star Rail has limited theory crafting potential and very brain-dead turn-based gameplay that even a remedial preschooler could succeed in. Despite these shortcomings, one thing that could have saved this game for me was if it had endgame PvP. That way I would have some incentive to get all the units and get to endgame. Well, you may have noticed that I have no characters at all on my account, and that is because I'm free to play since this game has no PvP at all, so what is the point even? And again, I just don't see what this game is offering me over Revu Starlight Relive, which I've spent well over 10,000 American dollars in due to it having PvP. And really, ever since I spent my $5,000 in this game, I have not lost a single match ever, and honestly, the PvP in Revu Starlight is just a massive confidence booster for me. I'm just going to go into battle with one character in my party because to me, Revu PvP isn't just about winning, rather it's about toying with my opponents in the most cruel ways to prove my socioeconomic superiority to them. And honestly, whenever I'm having a bad day and just feel like a loser or whatever, I just log into Revu Starlight PvP to lift my spirits as it just reaffirms that I'm a winner. There's just something very soothing about putting the game on auto and just watching my whale units absolutely curb stomp other players. And if Honkai Star Rail does end up adding PvP down the line, I will for sure re-download it. So as you can see, I am massively outskilling my opponent in a major way, and actually they managed to make it to a second turn against me. Honestly, that's pretty impressive. Their fortitude is truly worthy of great song. I think I will hit them up with the great work emote before ending their ambitions here. Like, this player should take pride that they forced me to bust out my ultimate move here, as it's been a fair while since I've had to do this. Anyways, like I was saying, until Honkai Star Rail adds a similar PvP system where I can sow death and violence upon people who aren't as committed to wasting money in an anime mobile game as me, I just don't really see the reason of getting super OP endgame characters in Honkai Star Rail. The last complaint I have with this game is its story, as I just find it really hard to follow along with. Like, I'm not really that far into the story, but I already have no clue what's going on, and I think the issue is all the characters speak in Japanese, which is a language I don't understand, and it's just hard for me to read the text in English while they're talking in Japanese. Like, I basically listen to the words they're saying, but I forget to read the words. But then I forget that I forgot to read the words by the time I already clicked to get the next dialogue, and it's just really, really annoying. I don't have this issue in other games that have a log history button or when watching anime, as I can just rewind there too. Oh, I have to select a dialogue now. Yeah, since I was focused on making a video here, I just missed all the story in this scene as well, so not a whole lot I can do about that one. Anyways, I'm sure some people are thinking, well, just use the English dub, and the thing is, I just can't focus when anime girls talk in English. It's not that I find English dub bad, I'm sure it's very good in this game, it's just that it catches me off guard too much. It's like, if all the white girls at my local Phil's Coffee one day started speaking in perfect Mandarin. That would just catch me off guard in a major way, and you see that happen in viral YouTube videos with that premise. This is basically the reaction I have to anime girls talking in English more or less, and it makes it hard to focus on what they're saying. Yeah, I think what I'm saying there makes sense and many people would agree with. In conclusion, I wasn't impressed by Honkai Star Rail, like, at all, and as for my final score for Honkai Star Rail before I uninstall, I think I will give this game a 3.3 out of 10. It's not so insultingly bad to put it in the sub 3 score threshold, but I just cannot in good faith score it higher than a low 3, as I just can't help but see Honkai Star Rail as a budget, rip-off Chinese version of Revu Starlight Relive.